Hey everybody! Today we're going to be reading chapter 17 of Judges, and after I get done reading scripture, I'm going to explain what I think about it, how I feel about it. And I'm not an expert in scripture at all, so please do not lean on my understanding, but trust in the Lord for understanding and for guidance. And if I mispronounce any names, places, people, words, anything like that, I do apologize. And I'm reading from my Bible. It's the New Living Translation for those who want to follow along. And without further ado, let's get started. There was a man named Micah who lived in the hill country of Ephraim. One day he said to his mother, "I heard you place a curse on the person who stole 1,100 pieces of silver from you. Well, I have the money. I was the one who stole it." "The Lord bless you for admitting it," his mother replied. He returned the money to her, and she said, "I now dedicate these silver coins to the Lord. In honor of my son, I will have an image carved and an idol cast." So when he returned the money to his mother, she took 200 silver coins and gave them to a silversmith, who made them into an image and an idol. And these were placed in Micah's house. Micah set up a shrine for the idol, and he made a sacred ephod and some household idols. Then he installed one of his sons as his personal priest. In those days, Israel had no king. All the people did whatever seemed right in their own eyes. One day, a young Levite who had been living in Bethlehem in Judah arrived in that area. He had left Bethlehem in search for another place to live, and as he traveled, he came to the hill country of Ephraim. He happened to stop at Micah's house as he was traveling through. "Where are you from?" Micah asked him. He replied, "I am a Levite from Bethlehem in Judah, and I am looking for a place to live." "Stay here with me," Micah said, "and you can be a father and priest to me. I will give you 10 pieces of silver a year, plus a change of clothes and your food." The Levite agreed to this, and the young man became like one of Micah's sons. So Micah installed the Levite as his personal priest, and he lived in Micah's house. "I know the Lord will bless me now," Micah said, "because I have a Levite serving as my priest." Thus ends the reading of chapter 17 of Judges. So as y'all could tell, this was a very short chapter. But a lot of things went on, and I'm gonna cover them all. So, obviously Micah's mother placed the curse on whoever stole her money, because I'm guessing that money was supposed to be dedicated to the Lord. So of course she wanted, whoever stole it, to be punished. So that's why she placed that curse. In all honesty, when people steal from me, like all depending on what they steal. I mean, I know stealing is wrong and everything, but like all depending on what they steal, I'm not gonna curse them. And in all honesty, I'm not gonna curse nobody, period. But it's like my prayer to the Lord would be different. Like, okay, like if someone was to steal a Bible from me, shoot, I'm pray to the Lord and be like, you know what, whoever stole this Bible, I pray that they need it. I pray that you bless them through it, Lord, and stuff. I pray that they read it and everything, and that they get what they need from the Bible. Basically I pray that, that Bible is of service to them, because obviously they need it. But then I also pray, that they don't do nothing messed up with the Bible, like use it as like as use it as like, ammo, or I mean not ammo, but like fuel for a fire. Like I hope they don't like, tear the pages out and use it for fire or anything like that. It's like I hope that they don't, disrespect the Bible in any messed up way. You know what I'm saying? Like I pray that they actually read it and use it, and that the Lord is able to speak to them, through the Bible, and save them and all that through that. Like I pray that some good come out of whoever took the Bible and stuff. Like I wouldn't be worried about that Bible, and I wouldn't be worried about trying to get it back, because I hope that it served somebody. I hope that it served the person that took it. So, but if someone was to steal some money from me, like I'm not gonna lie to you, it all depends on how I am, financially at the time. Like if someone was to steal like my last, few dollars or whatever, like if someone was to steal money from me and that was all that I had in order to, like live off of for a while, then I feel some kind of way. I would pray that I get that money back, returned to me and stuff like that, like, excuse me, like I would be worried. I'd be worried about whether or not, I'd be able to make it, and I would want that money returned to me. And I would be upset, with the person that stole it from me. Now, let's say I'm like financially stable and everything, I got money in savings and stuff like that, I'm doing good. If someone was to steal some money from me, all depending on how much it is, I either might let it go, or I might try and like pray and be like, okay, I would like to see this money returned from me, because that wasn't a little bit of money that was stolen. It was a lot of money. But at the same time, I am good. So like, if it doesn't get returned to me, if that's your will, Lord, then that's okay. I just pray to whoever took the money and everything, that they do right, with it, that they don't do no messed up stuff with it. You know what I'm saying? So, there's that. But we got banks and stuff now, so like I always use my card when I'm paying for stuff. I don't really like to have cash on me. So like if someone was to steal money from off my credit card or whatever, like if someone was to like have my credit card information and be spending stuff, the bank will flag that, and it'll cut my card off, so that way no more money can be, spent, and then they'll call me and ask me whether or not I made this transaction or not. And if they be like, and if I say no, and everything, then I think the bank reimburses you, the money that was stolen, and then they get you a new card or something, because like, obviously your card been tampered with or whatever. So, like I had that happen before at one time. Like, somehow, some way, someone got a hold of my card information, and I think it was probably like from a gas station or whatever. You know how like people are able to like read cards or something. Like I don't know. Like basically somehow, some way they got my information and they were spending money in some weird place, and I'm looking like, I don't even know what this is. The bank flagged it immediately because they knew it wasn't me, and we got that worked out and stuff. But I was without a card for a while, and I had to literally take out cash if I wanted to spend any money. I had to go to the ATM machine and take out cash and stuff. So it was a thing. But when I got my card back, I felt good, and I was able to use when I got a new card and everything, I felt good, and I was able to use my new card. So, but yeah, using cash to pay for stuff, I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just I just don't like carrying cash on me, because like if I was ever robbed or whatever, like I don't think that they can access your money that's in your savings account. They can only access the money that's in your checking account. And that's why I make sure that I don't have a lot of money in my checking account. Like, if I need to pay a bill, I'll just transfer some money from my savings into my checking and then go ahead and pay the bill. So, it's ways that I make sure that money that don't nothing get stolen from me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like if some money was to get stolen from me, I would just, I would go about it in a different way. My prayer would be a little different, all depending on, the circumstances and stuff and how much money it was and everything. But this woman and everything, this mom, she the mother of Micah, she somebody literally stole 1,100 pieces of silver from her. So like her money literally would have been like in like a little bag or something, like a little pouch or something, and it would have been the silver pieces, silver coins. And I'm not sure how much they were worth, but 1,100 silver pieces, that sound like a lot, that sound like some wages that you would be paying, several servants or whatever, or several people to do some major important work for you. It sounded like this money was dedicated towards the Lord, and that's the reason why she cursed whoever took it. But when she found out it was her son, she wanted her son to, when her son admitted that it was him, she asked the Lord to bless him, for admitting it, and but when he returned the money to her and everything, she says that she now dedicates these silver coins and everything to the Lord. But then she want to talk about in honor of my son, I will have an image carved and an idol cast. In all honesty, just them two sentences is contradictory to each other. Because how are you going to dedicate this money to the Lord, but then going to turn around and in honor of your son, going to take some of these silver coins that you just dedicated to the Lord, and you going to make some dang idols with it? Like, you going to pay somebody to make some idols with it or something? Like, what are you doing? You can't dedicate this money to the Lord and then do some pagan stuff with it. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like that don't make no sense. So she took 200 silver coins out of the 1,100 coins, silver coins, and she gave them to a silversmith who made an image and an idol out of the silver. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then Micah literally takes the dang idol and stuff, makes a shrine for it, sacred ephods and all that. It was just horrible. And it's like, okay, verse 6 clearly says that in those days Israel had no king, so all the people did whatever seemed right in their own eyes. I'm sorry. The Lord, the God of Israel, the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, like, that's y'all king. He always has been. I don't know. The Israelites is tripping again. Basically, they tripping again. And don't, okay. Before I even move on. Okay, so he do all this for this idol, he make the shrines and all this other stuff. And then he wanna install one of his own sons as his personal priest. First of all, when it come down to the Israelites, the only people who are allowed to be priests are the Levites. Those are the ones who have been ordained by God himself to do that. Like, when Moses and Aaron and all of them and everything, got the Israelites out of Egypt and stuff, and they was going through the wilderness trying to get to the promised land, was it not the Lord that had Moses and them make the sacred garments and all of that stuff for Aaron and his descendants, the Levites. Were they not chosen to be the priests? They were chosen to be the priests. Like, they were chosen to be the priests. They were chosen to, like, they were ordained and everything, the oil, all that stuff. Like they did the whole ceremony and everything. They are the priesthood forever. They're the ones who's supposed to, take care of the Lord's temple and stuff and serve him and everything. Like, you can't just appoint anybody to be a priest. You can't do that. And since we're speaking about Levites, let's go ahead and move on to the next part. Because this so-called Levite from Bethlehem, in Judah and stuff, looking for a place to live and everything, and he gonna live with Micah and agree to be Micah's personal priest for them dang idols. Like what? What are we doing? What are we doing? It started off all good and everything, I thought that this woman, was all devoted to the Lord and stuff, and her son was confessing his sins, the stealing, and was gonna repent and all that. I thought this was gonna be good until she wanna take some dang silver and make a dang idol out of it and give it to her dang son, and her son ended up building shrines and all that for it, and then the Levite over her. It's just bad. It's bad all the way around. It's bad all the way around. But maybe I'm over exaggerating. But I feel like this is idolatry. Like, it's like, how are you engaging in idolatry? How are you literally sinning against the Lord, but then you want to use the Lord's name in order to bless people and curse people? It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say. The Levite should not have the Levite should not have agreed to do this. And I know he was looking for a place to stay, but he shouldn't not have agreed to do this. Micah shouldn't be building no altars, no nothing like that, for no shrines or nothing like that for nobody, but the Lord of Heaven's armies, but the Lord they God, but the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Like, and then the mom, either you devoted to the Lord or you not. Like, you should not be engaging in no idolatry if you call yourself, being devoted to the Lord. Like, it don't make no sense. It's contradictory. Like, you can't have one foot in the kingdom and you can't have one foot in heaven and one foot in hell. You can't have one foot in the kingdom of heaven and one foot in the kingdom of darkness. You can't have one foot in righteousness and one foot, in wickedness. Like, it don't work like that. You either for the Lord, you either on the Lord's side, you either on Jesus' side, or you on the devil's side, Like, you need to pick one. And if you on the fence belongs to the devil. You need to figure it out. Figure it out. You got a decision to make. You need to pick something. Cause Jesus ain't on the fence, when it come down to us. He love us. He know where we stand with him. We know where we stand with him. He loves us and he hates sin. He makes it very clear, in the Bible, what he for and what he against. Who is his allies and who is his enemies. He make it very clear who his children are and who are not his children. You know, it's only two types of people in the world: the saved and the unsaved. The saved are a part of Jesus' family and everything. They are the children of God and stuff, you know. But the unsaved are the children of the devil and everything, and they live in they sin and stuff. So it's like if this mom gotta choose, she gotta make her choice. I feel bad because another thing is that Micah's mom, literally because of her indulging in idolatry, now we got Micah doing it. Children learn by imitating their parents. So Micah literally learned his idolatry and stuff like that from his own mom. And that's sad, because it ain't the right way to go. And then we got this Levite who's supposed to be a priest for the Most High God and everything, agreeing to freaking indulge in idolatry and stuff just for a place to stay. Like, how dare you? I don't know. It's a lot of stuff going on in this chapter. I'm surprised that this video made it as long as it is, in all honesty. Like, I'm surprised that it's 21 minutes long already, because in all honesty, like, I thought this was gonna be I thought that, you know, since it is a short chapter, that I wasn't gonna have that much to say. But in all honesty, I got a lot to say. It's crazy. Jesus always gonna be my king. I don't care what anybody else say. I'm always gonna do what Jesus tell me to do, even if it hurt my heart, you know, even if it's, you know, some stuff, you know. And when I say hurt my heart, like I mean, like, my heart is grieving because I'm going through emotions or whatever, you know, some powerful, strong emotions, like if my like, you know how, like, when you lose a family member or whatever, you know, and the Lord ain't gonna, you know, save them or whatever because it's their time to go, you know, like, yeah, like, it's gonna hurt my heart. Like, I'm gonna go through some emotions, some strong emotions and everything, because, you know, it's like, I know that death is a part of life and everything, you know, and we all got our day in which we supposed to, you know, meet the Lord and stuff, but excuse me, but it still don't make it any easier, you know. It's just like a woman who has given birth to a child before, but she in labor, you know, finna give birth to her second child. Just because she's done it before, don't mean that it make it any easier the second go round, or the third, or the fourth. It could be difficult every time, you know. It's nerve-wracking every time. You wonder whether or not you're going to make it out alive, you know, from this one. Because women die in childbirth. They do, you know. Like, you wonder. You wonder whether or not your baby going to make it, you know, whether or not it's going to be complications or anything. You know, it's just a lot of stuff up in the air, you know. So, yeah, I just... Like, I don't understand why these Israelites over here talking about some Israel got no king. You do have one. You always had one. Always had one. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. And my bad if I was talking and I missed my point. I hope I didn't miss my point. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening. I'm reading the footnotes real quick to make sure I didn't forget anything. And it don't look like I did. So good. Okay. So thank y'all so much for listening. I love you. Jesus loves you, and have a blessed day. Bye.